All right, let's get right into it. Kakao just dropped its Q2 2025 earnings. And look, this wasn't just another report. This was a statement. What we're looking at here is a genuine inflection point for the company, and it all revolves around one single thing: AI. So you might be wondering, how did the market take all this? Well, it absolutely exploded. The stock just rocketed up. We're talking nearly 12% on the day of the call. And get this, the trading volume was almost triple the average. That's not just a little bump, right? That is pure, unfiltered investor approval. The street is loving this story, and they are putting their money where their mouth is. Okay, so let's break down why everyone got so excited. This quarter, it wasn't just good. It was a complete blowout right across the board. It's a huge signal that all those efficiency efforts and the underlying strength of their platform, yeah, they're really starting to pay off. And boy, do the numbers back it up. I mean, look at this. Revenue and operating profit both hit all-time highs. But the real story, the headline grabber here, is that earnings per share. They didn't just beat the consensus estimate, they absolutely crushed it by over 105 won. That is a massive, massive signal of just how profitable this machine is becoming. So where did all this strength come from? It was all about the core platform business. You can see it right here. Revenue in that segment grew a really healthy 10%, and that was more than enough to offset a bit of a cyclical dip in their content business. So yeah, the engine room for Kakao right now, it's that high margin platform. No question about it. Okay, so how in the world did they pull off such a record-breaking quarter? Well, it really came down to a pretty clear two-part formula. They combined that top-line growth with some really serious discipline on the bottom line. And when you look at the answer, it shows you a company that is just executing with surgical precision. We're talking both offense and defense. All right, let's start with the offense. Their core Talk Biz ad platform saw some really solid growth. But check out the standout performers here. Business messaging revenue jumped a whopping 16%. And then you've got the platform others bucket. That's where you find Kakao Mobility and Kakao Pay. That thing surged an incredible 21%. This isn't just one thing working. This is broad-based, high-quality growth. And now for the defense, which is maybe even more impressive. While all that revenue was growing, their total operating expenses actually went down. They declined by 2% year over year. And look at that marketing spend, slashed by 19%. All that discipline flowed directly to the bottom line, expanding their operating margin by 2.5 percentage points. Management was really clear on the call. This is not a one-time thing. This is about building in structural profitability for the long haul. But listen, the real story here, the thing that really drove that 12% pop in the stock, it isn't just about one great quarter. It's about the future. It's about what's next. And what's next is Kakao completely repositioning itself. They're going from being just a messaging app to a full-blown AI native ecosystem. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Management literally said it themselves on the call. This is a deliberate company-wide pivot. And for them, this year is the starting line. So at the very heart of this whole transformation is the KakaoTalk app itself. It's shifting from being a simple utility, basically your contact list, to becoming a real destination. Think about it like a dynamic feed-based hub where you go for social sharing, for content discovery, and yeah, even a new short-form video service. And the secret sauce tying it all together? AI, all designed to just drive up engagement. And this isn't just talk. They've put some hard numbers behind it. Management laid out what they're calling their must-achieve targets for the second half of the year. They are committing to boosting the time users spend in the app by over 20%, and, this is the big one, re-accelerating that ad revenue growth back to over 10% by Q4. So their whole AI strategy, which they've now branded Kana, is really interesting because it's so multifaceted. They're not just putting all their eggs in one basket. Of course, there's a big partnership with OpenAI, which is huge, but they're also developing their own in-house, on-device AI. That means smaller, more efficient models that run right on your phone, which is great for speed and privacy. On top of that, they're building an entire ecosystem of AI agents to help you get stuff done right inside the app. And the best part, management gave us a super clear roadmap, so we know exactly what to watch for. In September, we get all the juicy details at their If Kakao event. Then, in October, the new AI services actually start to roll out. And they've promised that before the next earnings call, we should see that joint product they're building with OpenAI. It is going to be a packed couple of months. All right, that brings us to our final segment, the next call.
This is where we put it all together, figure out what it means for the stock, and try to frame up a potential thesis.
Okay, so after a quarter like this, with a roadmap this ambitious, the question isn't, is this a good story? I think we've established that. The real question is, how do you play it? What's the trade?
The entire thesis here really boils down to one critical concept, a re-rating. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't just mean the stock goes up. A re-rating is when the market fundamentally changes its mind about what a company is worth. It's investors saying, you know what, the growth story here has structurally improved, so it deserves a higher valuation multiple. That is the whole game here.
So, here's the pitch. The core idea is that the market still hasn't fully priced in what happens if Kakao actually hits those super ambitious Q4 targets. One way you could express that view is with the strategy called a call spread. In simple terms, it's just a way to make a bullish bet where you know your exact cost and your potential outcome from the start. The whole goal is to get some leveraged exposure in case that AI roadmap triggers the 20 to 30% re-rating we've been talking about, all while capping your risk on the downside. So, wrapping it all up, our reading on Kakao is a firm outperform. This Q2 report wasn't just a beat on the numbers, it was the blueprint for a whole new growth narrative for the company. All the execution flags are turning green, and of course, this is not financial advice.